Hello and welcome back. Today we're going to be going through Tamuke, which is another piece from the Koden school of Dokyoku and Chikushinkai. So this is when I was taking lessons with a different teacher in Japan. The first piece that we did was Honshirabe from the Dokyoku school, and then we went on to Tamuke. So this will be the second tutorial, just because of that order. So Tamuke means to fold the two hands together. It's a requiem and a prayer. So it's a very spiritual piece, and I want to give you my take on it and how I view this piece and go through it. So this tutorial will actually be split up into two parts because the piece will takes a while to go through and express everything. So we're going to stop at line maybe 8 or 9 today, depending on the time it takes to go through. So the video after this, for the following week on the 14th, will be about Medi and Kari. So I encourage you to take a look at that because this piece really requires that you are able to have a really good role dai Medi, as well as some other Kari, a little bit of Kari and some other techniques as well. So let's start right from the beginning. And remember that in the Honshirabe video, what I talked about is how we breathe in the beginning really affects the rest of the piece. So we're going to start in this roll daimeri position and come up to the roll. And the big mistake that I find here with a lot of students is they really slam on row when they get up there, and it kind of ruins the atmosphere. And then we're going to go to a tsumeri. I personally do not pop this first tsumeri, but you can if you'd like. Then I pop the second one, and you don't have to if you don't want to. And then we're going to go to re, and then afterwards I take a breath here, and then I do like the very small catch breath, and then I do the roll daimeri roll right afterwards. So here's how that first line is going to sound. And notice that I'm not purposely trying to blast row at all, because in this piece I actually think of the whole entire structure as a story. So the way that I imagine this piece is that this is waking up in the morning on the first day of somebody that you love has passed away, and this is the first full day without the person. You wake up, you're not feeling so great about it. The mourning process has actually begun. Then we're going to go on to line 2, where our story continues. So finally starting to get up, having a little bit more energy and a little bit more of it, will to go throughout the day, but things are very still. You're still very depressed. You really feel down, and that's going to be the general character of this. So we're going to start. I added tsude in the beginning. I remember this question mark. I remember if I should or should not add it. And then I increase the volume, decrease the volume. I don't pop this first tsu again, and then I pop the second one, starting roll at a very low dynamic, and then I increase the volume, and then I go to this D medi note, which is typically a softer note. Then I'm going to do the di medi, which is going to give me the same pitch as chi, or an A natural, so we're going to B flat to A, and then I'm going to do like a suriage, a slide up, and then I'm going to hit chi. So we're actually not going to play this the D medi here. We're going to play chi with a nayashi, and then we're going to play the medi again. So let's hear is line 2. So I'll do that one more time. I actually ran out of breath myself. And there's no set duration on these D, Chi, Ds, or any of these notes. I would say that this is more of just kind of like a template for you that these notes should be somewhat close together and these notes should be more spread out, and so on. But let's move on to line 3 and continue on to the story. I actually make this day a lot shorter, and so that this becomes more like folk songy. And actually, this is the part of the piece that becomes a little bit more melodious and almost calming. It really does sound like a lullaby in many ways. So we'll go through this as re, chi, ni, meri, dipping down, and this I kind of do a coil here instead of a return and back up, and so a coil is just that little turn. And then we get that E chi afterwards. Um, I have a breath mark put in here. You don't have to breathe there, and I don't think I actually breathe here anymore. Rei chi rimeri chi chi re. And so this one you kind of want to have the notes that are really close together to be brisk. I wouldn't say quick. And then here I like this dun 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 sort of rhythm at the end. Sorry. Okay, now here on the line 4, I actually like to give this one a little bit more space, and I want to go back to that Italian word tenuto on these notes. So every single note is really placed, and then we're gonna have a special technique here called dai kari, and what this means right below that. So we know what kari means, and dai means is great. So a great kari, and this is tsumeri, and this basically means to hit the pitch of tsumeri. So you want to match that pitch. So what you're going to do is you're actually going to release 4 and 5 on the back. To get all the way up into that to that E flat pitch. So the opening of this and with these last two notes will sound something like this. And I always like to give this D Medi in Chi. I almost like to play it like it's an afterthought because this is like our first big moment of like realization that they're really gone. It's upsetting and it should sound like almost like a wail of crying and stuff like this. But then this afterthought is like, but it's gonna be okay. And then we can continue on with this lullaby-like melody here on line 4. So here we have that Li they, popping they with a third finger. Then we're going to give that chi. The first time I believe I play it without the popping of the 4, and then when I do this they chi here, I actually pop the 4th finger. So what I'm doing, or sorry, not 4th finger, but 4th hole. Something like that. Okay, going on to line 5, we have a Ri Meri dipping down, and I do more of a coil here than a Meri to back to the regular position E, Riro. Then we have a little bit, this is still in our kind of like lullaby-esque sort of song. Rei Chi, notice that we are going into Kan now. Chi Re Tsu U Tsu Ro. Okay, and here I don't pop the first one, I only pop the second one. And a little note that I want to give about the difference between E and Ro. They are the same note, but the color is completely different. So make sure that you highlight that. Don't try to get that E really tight because you want to have difference in color in Honkyoku. That's what makes shakuhachi such a special instrument. So here's line 5. Okay, then going on to line 6, we start with that ro dai meri, coming up to ro. Rearticulating ro with the second finger. You can also do this, or sorry, second hole, or you can also do this with the first finger, depending on which sound you like more. Dying away, coming up to they, crescendoing, getting louder, and then you have chi, di, dipping down, and I like to do like a double coil, something like that. E, do, and remember the same thing applies here with this E versus this E and row right here. You want to make sure that they have a completely different sound. Really weak and flexible on the E, strong and focused on the roll. Okay, so we're going to start at line 6 now. Start with that Daimeri. Okay, and going on to line 7, these first 3 notes, I really think that they need to be loud. And we're gonna rearticulate them with the back hole, hole number 5 on the shakuhachi. So dip down a little bit and get that rimeri fingering. And then we can continue on with this next line. And notice what I wrote in here is I wrote in Western terms, piano, mezzo forte, forte. Because we're going to be building up to this moment right here in line 8. So let's get that melody really intense in this kan position. So this su medi right here will be in kan. And so just building that up just like that. We'll try it one more time and do the whole thing. So this line 8 here, we have a really quick succession of notes. Do, re, chi, ni, meri, chi, re, su. So I start this out with Muraiki to get a lot of that sound out right away to give a lot of energy. And then we can continue on with the line as we did before. It's very similar to here. We just basically, instead of taking this note, we're putting a tsu with a couple with a medi in it, and then we have that tsu re ro ro. Here for this, a couple things that you can do in order to get this line faster is you can do practice rhythms. So you do something like this: long, short, long, short. And we can do short, long, short, long. Long, long, short, short. Short, short, long, long. Long, short, short, short. And short, 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 long. And then that will help build the flexibility or your relationship between every single note so you can play it quickly and cleanly. So that covers Tamuke up to line 8. I will upload the next portion of it after the Medi and Kari video that will be next week on August 14th. So per requested, a lot of people wanted me to play just from the beginning to wherever I was teaching today. So let me give you my take from 1 to 8 straight through, and then I will see you guys next week for Medi and Kadi, and then the following week for the second half of Tamuke. All right, I hope you enjoyed this video and I hope that it was helpful. Please leave a comment in the description of any pieces that you would like to learn, any techniques you'd like to learn. And remember, if you would like to take private lessons with me, you can go to shawnheadmusic.com, go to the bottom of the page where it has the contact form, send me a message, and we can get started on Zoom, Skype, Facebook Messenger. And if you live in Houston, we can do it in person.